very good evening to you. Welcome to your number one talk radio station, Eagle FM Namibia. Royalty has arrived, and it is company that keeps you on a Monday, keeps you informed, it keeps you educated, and I believe it also keeps you inspired to take the next step. Now, you have joined the Queen of Entrepreneurship with Ms. Twapewa Kadhikwa, and of course she has a special guest in studio to take us into a whole new world with new perspectives and of course royalty in entrepreneurship. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Sally.
Yes, of course you have a guest in studio, so I would like to allow you to tell us more about who is joining us in studio.
To introduce him?
Yes.
All right, so firstly, welcome to all our listeners. Matokerapo, Mavukahande, Kainkhoas, Matokerwa, Goeienaand, Guten Nacht. Is it Guten Nacht? Guten
Yes.
Abend, Guten
Yes,
Abend.
Guten Abend.
Guten Abend. And who else did I leave behind?
Tamara.
Kainkhoas.
Oh.
Kainkhoas. All right, so good evening, everyone. Good evening to our listeners and every new listener out there. This is Her Majesty Twapewa Kadhikwa. Yes, I am allowed to be dramatic because of my background. Yeah. Tonight I have a special guest. But before I introduce him, I just want to invite you all to prepare yourself, have a cup of coffee, water, oshikundu, maheu. Prepare yourself, sit down, take a notebook. This is education, entertainment, and edutainment. Take the studio number down. In case when we open up the calls, for the calls, 083 288 401, 083 288 401. And while you settle down and, you know, get comfortable in your couch, please follow my social media. All my accounts are at Twapewa Kadhikwa on Facebook, on Instagram, and LinkedIn, and on YouTube. So welcome. My guest tonight, I cannot wait for the day to introduce him as Dr. Likukela, my brother from another mother.
I know.
Mali Likukela. Those who know me personally know I have a personal addiction to Mali. It's like sometimes I want to take a USB and just put it in his ears and just download information. He is so, okay, that is true. He is so loaded with knowledge and experience, and I honor your life because you really are a vessel of transformation in Namibia. You are so selfless. Every time on the news, Economist, Mali Likukela is coming on, and really thank you for being here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
All right, so say hi to my audience.
Hello, our audience.
Yes.
It's not only your audience tonight.
Our audience.
Our audience. It's really an honor to be here. I'm very excited to be part of the discussion.
Okay.
So I look forward to a more thoughtful discussion.
Excellent.
Learning experience. And like you said, infotainment, edutainment, all the attainments.
All the attainments
we receive.
The topic for tonight is navigating through the maze of SME challenges. Man, you know, Mali, there's Hillary Clinton who said, do not waste a crisis. Never waste a crisis. A crisis of any nature, the intention is to harness it, is to harvest the learnings and make more out of a crisis. I'm asking you this to start our discussion because how do we move on from here? Because I do not want to spend the next 30 years being busy. We are busy as a nation. Okay. Extremely busy and broke. But we are dealer. We have every kind of policy, and we need to navigate through all these challenges to a better place. How do we move on from here?
Twapewa, thank you very much for that. I think to begin with, let's first unpack these concepts. Okay, navigating through the maze. The word navigation is
He's also a lecturer for those of you that don't know. Okay.
So the word navigation is an action word. It requires action. So navigation. What is a maze? it's some sort of challenge which requires, in order for you to overcome it, there has to be some serious movement, some serious action. But this action should be intentional, deliberate action, because if you don't take intentional, deliberate action, you are going to continue moving but not making any progress.
Okay, repeat that slowly.
Yes, so this mess, okay, it's an action, it's a challenge. Now, it requires you to make action. Now, this action must be intentional and deliberate. Because if you don't make intentional and deliberate movement, you are going to continue moving without making progress. And that speaks to what you said earlier on. We are so busy. Very, very busy from morning to sunset. We are very busy, but no progress. Why? Because the movements we are making, they are not intentional. They are not deliberate. You check. So when you do that, you can do that consistently for 30 years.
But
Movement
doesn't
is
mean that you are achieving anything.
Exactly. So when we dive into what has been happening for the past 30 years, we are going to see that many of the things that kept us busy didn't actually propel
Bring
us to the next
results.
level. And that is a biggest challenge that we have. Now, when it comes to the topic of tonight, navigating through the maze, it requires us to call upon some sort of powers to help us have intentional movements, deliberate movement that will take us to the next level. We need progress, not just movement.
I hardly keep quiet. But I'm quiet. I'm so I even forgot I'm host. I'm the host.
Yeah, but that is what it is.
Hold on, my brain is trying to wrap itself around this.
You know, if I can jump in, it
Yes.
kind of reminds me of, I was watching this movie and this person was explaining insanity to someone, and they said, this person was complaining and the person said, you know, insanity, you know what insanity means? It means doing the same thing and hoping for
Exactly.
a change when
Exactly.
it's really not working.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
So you do the same thing over and over again. You hope for a difference, a
It's like
change.
opening the fridge, but you know it's empty.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you're doing
That's social media, they say.
you do
Okay.
something over and over, hoping to get different results, but the actions are the same. There is just no way you're gonna get different results if your actions are the same. So that's movement, no progress.
You know, when you look at a quote in the Bible, in the book of Matthew, it speaks about talents and multiplication of these talents, of these gifts. We got a country that is a talent. Yes.
Yes.
The people in the UAE, they got the Arab Emirates, and they built Dubai.
Yes.
So they got a desert, they gave back a multinational cosmopolitan city.
Yes.
Some got Namibia. We need to give it back to the owner in a better way.
Yes.
So, in terms of our audience today, anyone listening, whether they're in Omthia or Hangwena, Kamanyab or Maruru, I want them to take away 5 practical steps. How do we navigate through this maze? I know that there's no national map, so to say, that says, in terms of SME development, these are the 5 steps. By step 5, you should be a graduate, and you should allow space for the next ones. Like me, I started business 20 years ago. What the heck am I doing not being fast looker? Do you understand? Because if I'm not fast looker, it means I'm blocking the entrant for a young person. And this is also why the youth are frustrated, because they feel they can't enter, but they can't enter because we are somewhere in there and blocking the system. Yes. So let's take the layer first of, in terms of what type of character should we see in our entrepreneurs, because as we're going to navigate, there can be a map, but if this person is weak, if this person is a thief, if the person is lazy, no map can help you. You need to have a certain characteristic, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, to be able to embark on this journey of navigation. So let's talk about the characters of the entrepreneur.
Yes, yes.
Because they will face many no's, they will face challenges, they will face, like us now, we are ninjas. Even a lion that comes through this door, it can't shake me.
The lion will repent.
The lion will repent.
Yeah, the lion will repent right away.
Okay.
Yeah, so, Sama, what you said is very, very important, okay? We need to have a map. But what is also very important is we need to know where we're going.
The direction.
The direction.
But we have a direction.
Yes.
And all these NDPs and Harambe proposals,
Exactly.
that's a vision.
Exactly.
Nabi?
Right.
Yes, exactly. But when you look at all these beautiful documents and try to find the position of SME there, it's a bit challenging. The drafters of this, they know where we're going. But we are drafting documents for people who don't have any idea what the document contains. What does it speak for them? If you go in all these offices, you're going to find all these documents lying perfectly cleaned every day so that they don't catch dust. But do the people that these documents are supposed to
crafted for?
Yes, are they aware of this? And that's one of the biggest challenges for SME. Right now, tell me how many SME people know that there's 500,000 that was dished out last week? How many of them knows? It's just me and you and few who read the newspapers or who knows, who see these things. But the majority...
But why are you launching these things even in town? Why don't you go to Soweto Market and take Mbako and...
Yeah.
So, I mean, the people, Namibia's challenges, I saw this through COVID. I saw this through Japan's model. Namibia's growth is honor. It's under. We need to go down and pull more people out of poverty, grow our stock of entrepreneurs, quality entrepreneurs, not Zulapreneurs. To understand, our people are just too busy and broke. End of the day, you ask, what did you achieve? They can't show, but they wake up. So which means Namibians are not lazy. They are hardworking, but without a map, it's really difficult to get through it all.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
You see, what we have all these beautiful documents that we have consulted consultants to come and put together for us, cut and paste story. Can I tell you something? So this gentleman goes to a motivational talk, and the motivator, the speaker said a very beautiful joke. He said, no, you know, the most beautiful time I've ever had in life is I was with another man's wife. And then everyone was like, huh? And they said, no, that woman was my mother. She's sitting right over there. So one guy heard the joke, went home and told the wife the same joke. He forgot the last part where he said, it's my mother. He couldn't even wake up to remember what he said. Because the wife was like, another wife? He said, no. He forgot that the other wife is the mother. So this is what we are doing. We are cutting and pasting without really understanding the rest of the joke, the rest of what it is that we need to do. You've spoken of the Chinese model, the Japanese model. Are these models really amenable for Namibia? You see, the circumstances of Namibia are different from Singapore. Our NDPs, our Harambe and everything are modeled around Malaysia, Singapore. But is Singapore really Namibia? We are talking of a dual economy here, where you have got informal and formal sector that are prominent.
And those economies, they only have...
Those economies don't have this dual economies.
Really?
Yes.
So nobody's like us?
Nobody's like us there, to be honest.
So they're all similar. So it's easy to blanket.
The gap between the formal and informal is very small. It's very limited. That is why a policy like NDP one can sell through the economy. Our challenge is the duality. And this can be
so we need dual policies or what, like a hybrid, or we need
a policy that
I want to understand.
Yes, the policy, the kind of policy that we need are the kind of policy that understand that Namibia has got the highest gene coefficient. So when we bring a policy, we must understand that there's Twapewa and Twapewa's grandmother, whose income is so below. Yes. So we need such a kind of policy. But if we have a policy that is going to resolve problems like a blanket, we're going to have a problem. Remember, SME has got stages of growth.
The ecosystem of startup is already
so if you are going
different.
So because the kind of finance that you need must go ahead hand in hand with the stage of your business. If I am just starting up a business, the kind of money that I need must speak to the needs of a startup. If you are already in business for 10 years, what you need is expansion. The kind of money that you need is for expansion. But what we are seeing many times is $500 million has been given for SME. To do what? To help SMEs. But where?
That's not solving...
that's not solving your problem. So that's
but I think it can solve if they can just show me who they engaged.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Exactly.
I mean, who influenced that decision?
Yes.
Because throwing that money. I've seen even many entrepreneurs and SMEs, they don't need money. They need an environment.
Yes.
They need access
They need
to
coaching. They need
They
mentoring.
just need guidance. I will go get my own money.
Yes.
I will have, if you're an entrepreneur, you will develop your own appetite to
Yes.
go and borrow your own money.
Exactly.
That's not what I need. I need capacity.
Exactly.
Like the Israeli says, capacidad. You need capacity and competency.
Yes.
When I have capacity, don't worry.
Yes.
I'll come for my own billion.
Yes.
But that is this. We must come back to that.
Yeah.
All right, we are at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock, and this is the Queen of Entrepreneurship live on your number one talk radio station. Of course, we are joined by the Queen herself, Miss Twapewa and Mr. Mali, and the topic for this evening is navigating through the SME challenges. And of course, you are more than welcome to join in. The line is 083-288-401. Twapewa, you were speaking about capacity and that people need that capacity and not necessarily always funds, as we always think. Maybe you can take it from there.
Yes. Okay. For starters, please let's just get rid of the name Twapewa.
Sorry, my
it is-
ancestors will shoot
Yes,
me
yes,
if
it
I
is.
say.
It is Queen TK. It's
Queen
yes, and it
TK.
was gazetted in the cabinet of the Republic of
Oh,
Namibia.
wonderful. See, we have a call on the line.
Okay,
so
let's have a caller
take this
quickly, then I
one.
come back to that other story.
Oh,
Hello, good
alright.
evening.
I
Oh,
guess
we
that
lost the
one
caller.
obvious.
Please
Right.
call again. Yeah, so my experience thus far has taught me that we are doing SME development the wrong way. Finances will never run a business. A business is run by somebody who has a competency to manage allocated funds. The allocated resources, those can be people, they can be infrastructure, they can be finances. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So whenever I hear people saying, no, we need money for our businesses, it's fine, you can get money, but the money is not what's going to run your business. Competency and understanding is what will run your business. The capacity issue, when I was much younger, my issue was really financing, Sally. I was like, no, we need money because you're so vulnerable, you are young, you are not having sufficient, or you don't have all your eggs in that, in the same place. So you think, no, we need money for our business. Yes, it's true. But after the money comes, what now?
Yes.
Now you've got this loan, you can't manage. You don't have financial literacy. You don't have financial understanding, which means you are still working for the money. Money is supposed to be working for you. You understand? Before you know, you think you need more money. You don't need more money. You need a structure. You need good governance. Then you realize you are over indebted. Then you have a headache. Now you need money for medical aid because then the stress comes and everything. So we really can't continue that way, Mali.
Yeah.
If I was a bank, I will not give a loan to any SME if they didn't go through training, because that training is their security. If you look like now in Namibia, the NPL rate, non-performing,
Yes, loans.
it's
Climbing. It's climbing.
which means loans are not the solution.
Yes. And you are right, Queen TK.
Thank you. You
That's
got
what I
that
said
right.
earlier on, to say that every SME goes through a certain
The
stage.
cycle. So is it the stage that we don't understand?
It is the stage that we don't understand, because you see there are roughly 6 stages, okay?
Who's we?
The stakeholders.
Oh.
Okay, so that includes the bank, that includes the mentors, that includes the coaches. We must appreciate that there are stages in this industry. So a SME that is still at development stage
Doesn't need what the other
doesn't
one
need
needs.
what the SME which is on growth and expansion stage, because what the person at growth and expansion stage needs is the mentorship, is the coaching on how to manage the asset that has accumulated. But for a startup, somebody that has an idea, you couldn't sleep in the night, you have this big idea, you need fund, you really need fund, so that you can try it, so you can put your
Incubation.
idea into trial. So now when you put 500 million, $500 million for SME, you must be able to know that a certain portion of that goes to which SME on which category
and where they are. Where are they?
Yes, that way you are able to come back and do M&A, monitoring and evaluation, to see whether that fund has really made an impact. What we have seen is these billions that have gone to SME, no one really knows where exactly it was for.
But is it fair to judge them so early on? I mean, this was announced, Friday?
But
maybe we're unpacking it a bit too early.
It's too early, yes, I agree with you.
But it was supposed to be targeted because of the crisis. You don't waste a crisis.
Yes.
But my brother, let me ask you now. You know, people always say, despite these SME challenges, it's like black people, they're just not managing things well. Is it true?
No, it is definitely not true.
Thank you.
Because who's the judge of that?
Because I can't change my color now.
No. Who is the judge of that?
No, that's what when we move around, people say when they're in La France, ilumbune, they do this, they work together, they do this, understand? And then when we go to the other side, they say, they're wasting things. So it's not fair to only expect resources to be allocated to us. We also have to take responsibility.
Yes, definitely. I agree with you. You see, back then, not so long ago, you know, when this the Fortuner, this Toyota Fortuner came in, the Toyota itself, there was a lot of accidents. And people were like, these Toyotas, they're not stable. People didn't realize that there are a lot on the road. There are more than any other type of cars. So a smaller portion of it makes it look like as if it's
more.
So same with the blacks. We are a lot. And so, compared to the counterpart. But the point is, we need to take responsibility. And I want to bring us back to the question of capacity. I've been in the academia not so long, but I think I've learned quite a lot in a short time that I've been. Are we really matching the skills? Are we teaching entrepreneurship in our institutions? Because remember, during our time when we were growing up, we were told, go to school so that you can get a job. Not to say so that you can be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur skill only started coming in now, but do we have equipped people that are trained to train entrepreneurship?
Then why they're not calling us? Here we are. I will train the whole of NAS and UNAM. Do you know that Namibia currently have the highest unemployed graduates?
Yes. Yes.
Then why do I educate you if I'm supposed to also come and give you a job? I'm going to educate you to create your own job.
Exactly.
So it's like I give birth to you, I breastfeed you, then I must still wash you and put Vaseline on your face and remove the manangas. No, that's not the purpose. I love you, but not that much.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
So money will be given to people who are not ready or capable to optimize that money.
But
that's the challenge.
Now, even where we are, we should give nothing. We should take stock.
Yes.
Take stock and say what we did there. Did it give us desired results? What we did there, did it give us? Is this map working? Is it got too many stops, or can we change the map? Do you understand? Or must we change the direction? I mean, you heard me the other day. We have 9 years to go, Likukela,
yes, to
2030.
Yes, definitely.
The business that's supposed to industrialize at that time shouldn't start in 2025. It should be existing now. And that's why I get concerned when I see too many car washes, That's not what Namibia requires. We have to industrialize. When will the people that we know start to develop businesses that must industrialize? I've got some statistics, I will share them after. But it's like there's a mismatch. Do you understand? Safari Hall is full every year, big graduation hall.
Yes.
But tomorrow nobody's going anywhere.
Yeah.
Now why did you study for 4 years? A graduate should be able to see an opportunity to go buy potatoes, develop a chips range, brand it, and become a millionaire from that.
Yeah.
That's what you're being educated for. Not to go and march at NASFAF. You must come bring back NASFAF's money.
Right.
Quickly, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
So, since we declared a state of emergency on COVID, can't we declare one on the economy?
The state of economy. State of
emergency on the economy.
I think we could, but we need to know why and what do we intend to get from that state of emergency.
Because of the risk. The same way COVID posed the risk. The potential to wipe us out. Poverty will wipe you out, my bro.
What we need more than a state of emergency. We need deliberate action and visionary leadership.
You're talking like you are now.
I need to get to the point of the matter.
But when you say deliberate action, I hear this word since forever. You hear it also, Sally. Deliberate action.
And it must be emphasized, because what we are doing is what somebody else expects us to do. It's not our own action. We need visionary leadership that would come up with their own deliberate
Do you think we
action.
don't have that now? I think we do.
We need to see that coming out. Yes, I know we have it, but we need to see it coming out because that's what is missing. Yeah, I'm not saying that we don't have them. We have them, but we need to see action. We need to see outcome. So people must see that yes, this is a deliberate action that should translate into an outcome
give me
that
two
is
examples.
expansive. That's
What
Okay.
is that deliberate action? Like,
Yes. When we give out money or financial support like we have already done, we can't choose. And I'm not referring to the 500 million of last week. I'm saying to all the financial initiative that government has. It must be decided upon and emphasized that this is targeted intervention. Targeted, not umbrella.
TPEG was targeted. Where did TPEG
But
bring us?
TPEG was not specific to SME.
Okay.
Yes, TPEG was not specific to SME. Mass housing was not specific to SME. And this is where the link is falling off because if TPEG was a component of that was to be channeled right direct to SME to say this amount of this project must be for SME, not for fly-by-night SME. That it would be a different story. Do you know if you go to countries like Guinea-Bissau, those African countries, their unemployment rate,
Like
it's-
Ghana.
like Ghana, their unemployment rate is so low compared to Namibia.
Serious?
You know
Because
why?
of the informal.
Because of the informal sector. They formalized the informal sector. So
But
that
here people look down on the informal
Exactly.
sector. They say it's the backbone of the economy, a backbone that's fractured. That's
a backbone that you
paralysis.
forget to take care of. If SME is really indeed the backbone of this economy, we would take care of it. We would take vitamins to strengthen the backbone, but we're not doing that. And that's what I meant. I keep saying that it must be a deliberate and intentional intervention.
But Mali, do you think that because of all this trauma, I think people are traumatized, number one. I think,
How do you mean traumatized?
no, a mango tree, its responsibility is to produce mango fruit. If you find a banana on a mango tree,
Hey,
something is fundamentally wrong. I'll not eat it. It's witchcraft. Okay? Now, I think because of the busyness, not business,
Busy.
busyness, ne?
Yes.
And the reality that we haven't seen tangible results can frustrate anybody. Do you understand? And when you are in that space of frustration, when you keep trying and nothing is coming through or showing you tangible fruit, you know, we've got these desires, we've got these factories, we've got these, you know, we've got this language, we conference over conference, convention over convention, promises, investment, and you know, when you look around, it's like you are getting worse. Do you understand? So it can traumatize anybody. I think there's trauma in our atmosphere,
Yeah.
and that's a reality.
yeah, I agree with you.
But when there is trauma, you cannot innovate. You cannot innovate. Innovation comes from creativity. And creativity comes from being the best version of yourself. Now, when you are not the best version of yourself, when you are frustrated, you're backstabbing each other, you are depressed, and you are also confused. There's a confusion. Ne? All of that piles up. And then the world is moving forward. And your issue is the trauma, the catastrophe that just happened. How can we quickly come out of our traumatic stage so that we can move on? Because I think we forget that every country went through its own challenges. There's nothing particularly unique about Namibia. Everyone, some were colonized, some were not colonized, some were having apartheid. But get over it. Like my kid would say, snap out of it, man. Can we just snap out of it and move on?
Yeah.
You agree with the trauma?
Yes, I agree with the trauma analysis, and it made me think that it made me go beyond reflect on one other thing that we as SME must take advantage of: the technology. Look, the world has moved 360 degree, and COVID just came to let us know that there is a whole lot of world outside there. So now
You're talking to me,
SMEs, so SME must embrace technology. All the business models must be aligned to technology. Our marketing strategy should be technology. Our product, our supply chain must all be technology, because the world will never be the same again. And this is where most SME will miss the boat. Back then, for those of us that are in consulting business, we would rely on consulting jobs in the newspaper. We have seen how many newspapers shut down their doors. And those that are still printing, who are still in print, they hardly put in all those consulting jobs. How do you survive? You have to change your model. You have to find a way to go look for business in unconventional ways. So if you're gonna stick around and wait for a new era to print, consultant needed, you might gonna wait for some.
How do you keep up?
That's where now you tap into your networks. I mean, we have conferences, we have investors for networking. Namibia Chamber of Commerce, all those institutions provide networks. So you tap into your networks and do direct marketing. This is something that is not usual for consultants. You just wait for a call from Minister of Trade to say, hey, we need you, and stuff like that. So you need to change.
Mali, give me your closing remarks.
Yeah, I think my take home is that we really need to invest more into the SME ecosystem. What is coming out is that there still need to be a lot of collaboration. The stakeholders, government, SME themselves, expert, we need to work together, because the ecosystem need to be strengthened so that we can synergize, we can leverage on each other's energies. I think everybody knows what's supposed to be done. Everyone knows what is missing, but nobody wants to really take that responsibility. And I think that is where we must start. Let's be bold.
So we need a messiah.
No, we are all messiahs. We just need to volunteer ourselves.
So where's the promised land?
We are already in the promised land.
Milk and honey.
Yes, it is here. We are right into it.
We
just need to accept and receive it.
Oh, I receive it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I am going to close off. My humble view is, this for me is a calling.
Yes.
I take it very seriously. I believe with everything that my conviction stands on, that Namibia within the next 3 years can achieve 0% unemployment. The one who disagrees with me, come and deal with me. But you need to cut off this finger, because I see it, I believe it, and I want to be there. Like Huma Sekala said, to Mamina. So I accepted the call, and it's not an easy call.
Yeah.
However, we need to accelerate. And accelerate is different from just driving your normal speed. Accelerate is, you know. And I think because we haven't arrived in acceleration mentally, it's very difficult to go there physically.
Yeah.
Perhaps we need to first make up our mind. I will use another biblical example in the book of Joshua, where Joshua looked at these prophets of Baal, and later he said, I hear you. But as for me and my house, I will serve the Lord. Now we need to get to that space to say, we see the challenges, we see the disagreements, we see what's going on. But as for me and Namibia, we are going to arrive at that destination. Yes. So the body cannot go where the mind has not been. Do you understand? And perhaps we must first go there mentally. We must go to a better place mentally. Once we are there, we start navigating our physical resources to go there. But until there, I think we're going to be like the Israelites were crossing that Red Sea 40 years, and it was just around the corner because they couldn't travel to that destination mentally. So in closing, I think all our dreams mean nothing, Mali, if we have no economy. Without an economy, we cannot build houses. Without an economy, we cannot build schools. We are a developing country. But even if we dream how much, first an economy must exist, and then you can build houses, then you can build schools, then you can build hospitals. Now it's like we want to do all those things, but in the absence of an economy, and especially a localized economy. The economy we have now is consumption based. We are the consumers, somebody is the producers. If we can consume, we should be able to produce. So on that note, my people, I'm signing out. See you next Monday at 8:30. Mali, you are coming back here because we didn't even touch this balance of trade.
Yes.
As a queen, I have authority from the royal kingdom to summon you back. So you are coming back, and all we'll be dealing with that day, Sally, I need your help, is the balance of trade. I mean, if you do some of these figures, cereals, we're importing cereals with $1 billion.
Yes.
You guys.
I'm at your service, Queen TK.
Thank you. That's me signing out. Colleagues, please subscribe to all my social media. Follow me. I'm going to improve. Sally will train me. And may God keep you and keep you safe until we meet again. Don't give up, my people. Namibia is all we have. We cannot outsource it. Personal development, you cannot outsource it. And we have to arrive at a better place in our generation.
Yes.
Shalom.
Yes.
Good night.